Okay, this is instructions on how to make a basic incubator that is suitable for opossum pinkies or for transportation of any small animal that needs a controlled temperature and or humidity controlled environment. Cricket keeper, sponge, 1 large or 2 small rubber bands, a pouch or sock, tape, scissors, and a non-woven piece of fabric, t-shirt, fleece. I've got a piece of flannel here from a baby blanket. And if you're going to be using it for transport, you will want to have either something that plugs into your cigarette lighter or some hot hands. It's also a good idea to keep some gloves and some wet wipes for yourself and some baby wipes for the babies in there. To put this together is really simple. Put the babies in the pouch. I generally put a piece of fabric in the bottom, put the pouch in the center, and then put it back over top of the babies to keep them warm. To maintain humidity, I take a sponge and I attach it using this as a figure 8. I moisten the sponge, and you will need, if you're going to be using this for more than just transport, a thermometer and hygrometer like you use for reptile cages. And I found these inexpensive ones seem to be fairly accurate. I like to put it in the front right there where I can see it, and I haven't had them bother it. Put everything together, moisten your sponge, test this out ahead of time, and see for your area what your humidity is like and make adjustments as needed. If I am using this in the house on my nightstand, or if you have to keep babies overnight and you don't have an incubator, rather than placing the heating pad underneath, I find I get better results if I place it loosely over the top like this. Now make sure you check that your heating pad is keeping it around 90 degrees. You want it between 90 and 95, but the closer to 90 you can get, the better. If you're not quite warm enough, you can go ahead and place a towel over it, or you can try turning it up to medium. I have found on almost all the heat pads that I have, medium is too warm. If you are going to be transporting them in a car, I take the hot hands, I use one of these, put it underneath the blanket, inside there, under half of the container so they can move back and forth as needed if they get too warm. I also like to keep baby wipes on hands. You can wipe any dirt or debris off of them. Make sure nobody's bleeding or has any problem that needs to be addressed immediately. Gloves or some wet wipes for your own hands when you're done, if that makes you feel more comfortable. Now, when I'm using this myself, I will use it like this, with the towel over it on low, and keep it on my nightstand because I'm not always real good at getting up every 2 to 3 hours and feeding if I have to go down a full flight of stairs to where it's cold. So this is one way to make sure that I get those feedings in that need to be done at night until they're old enough to go into a larger bin around about 50 grams. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will put links to the basic materials in the first comment.